Hello Internet and welcome to Season 2 of Ship of the Week, a series where I have just 1 hour to design a ship based on your viewer suggestions and hopefully make it work. Ships that do pass my completely unbiased inspection will go up on the workshop for everyone to download and enjoy, but the ships that don't make the cut, well, they get scuttled. We have a lot of great new ideas this season and a lot of new game mechanics to test out. So let's hop right on in to Ship of the Week. So this week I'm going to be revisiting a bore shield miner design, which I feel like I looked that up after the last one and was saying the wrong name for the thing. It's a big old flat thing that digs holes. Now the last one I did as a spaceship, which was a big old spaceship that drilled holes and had a whole bunch of drills on it. And it worked pretty well. I mean, it was straightforward, drive at asteroid and make hole. But what if you aren't on an asteroid? What if you don't have a bunch of drills? What if you feel like making something needlessly complex? Well, that's what we're going to do today. So I've come to Pertram, the lovely dust ball of sadness, and I'm here at the side of this mountain because I want to build a tunnel into it or through it, probably just into it. I'm going to do that by building a fixed drill rig that will essentially inchworm its way along, building conveyors and, connecting itself to storage and refineries and all that. And I think I'm actually going to break from standard protocol a bit here. So this contraption is something you would build off of like an existing base. So, partially in order to give me time to actually figure out how to do this, and partially just because I feel like it makes more sense and I don't want to have to waste time with the boring stuff, I'm going to just slap down sort of all the blocks you need for, stuff. All this you'd probably already have, and it's not part of the fancy design. But it will probably be critical for making the design work. That's in part because this design of mining machine is meant to drill in, gather resources, and build itself as it goes. So it needs the ability, or it needs to be connected to something with the ability to process all of that. I don't think that needs to be a self-contained unit per se. In theory, this could all be at a separate position. You haul the stone back and forth and all that. Alright. So that should be good. Now, I guess we just go ahead and get going. Timer up. And here we go. Okay. So, this is going to be... well, it'll be interesting. I have a vague idea of how this is going to work, but I've not done this before. I think I'm going to design this as actually separate from the base for the moment. Really, I could have saved that base to be built during testing, but I figured having it now, being able to build off of it, makes sense. So, right. So to start off with, we would have a conveyor connected to the cargo container. And that conveyor, I'm going to use the armored ones because they give connection points on all sides, which is handy for this. So my actual sort of piston extender and drill is going to be separate in this, and this is just purely cosmetic, but I'm gonna rotate these so that the you can see the tubes inside. It'll help a little bit if there's like a disconnect. I can see where it is, and it'll put the drill a little higher, which should be good. So okay, so we need a connector there, and then I am gonna put the merge blocks off to the side. I think that'll be for the best. We have another connector. I'll sort of just angle these so that they are coming down so that the drill itself is a little lower. I think that'll be good. Though I think I need other stuff in here. So the basic idea of how these will work is, maybe if I carry on a bit, that is sort of the length of a connection. Then up here, I have a piston. Yeah. So the piston will have, these will just be placeholder, but piston will have another merge block connector set up. So it will extend out to here at the end of the arm, connect, and then pull this back one. It'll connect this front one up, disconnect this back one, and pull it along. This piston, I also need to have welding capability so that when it's extending, it will be welding this lower arm that it'll then connect to. So if I just put a welder in line like this, let's see if it can repair this thing. Because if it can't reach that block, it won't be able to build it. And it cannot. Now the issue with putting the welder sort of down one is it's going to clip into the connecting assembly, which is bad. So if I put it over here, now it should be able to go past the connectors. But will it be able... I don't know if it'll be able to weld the merge block on this side. I think I need to go a little more complex. I think we have two welders. This one is essentially just for welding up the lower merge block and could help with this connector if there's an issue. This one is for the lower arm. I then need another extension, and my other connector and merge block assembly will live here. So that sort of upper bit is my extension. That's my actual moving part. And it will have probably a rotor right off there with a drill arm that can go around so it can actually drill out a hole. But that comes later. Well, this is good. I am going to cut this back and build my other connection point here. This will essentially... Ooh. Actually, that's an issue. I'm going to have to go one block further down here. I guess this is a good time as any to mention this design, how I'm doing it, could be more efficient with more pistons. It would let you push further per movement. But as sort of a proof of concept, I'm not going to do that. So the reason I had to move this a block forward, because the hinge part or piston part is slightly pushed out from the 2-block piston body, this 2-block area is actually slightly more than 2 blocks. You can see holding a block there is like a tiny, it's like half the piston part gap. That gap with the 2 merge blocks would either mean the merge blocks don't merge, or they do merge and cause it all to explode because now this part is pushed into the piston. So 1 block out gives us a bit of safety. It'll still be able to move a few blocks at a time. Send that out. We'll see if all this stuff can pass, which is important. Yep, seems fine. So I do need to make sure that essentially each step, each step needs to be longer than this distance. Otherwise, I would need intermediary steps. Because how this is working now, and I guess we can just do it and remove it later. So as this is now, this connects on to there, like so. Hopefully this doesn't blow up. I'm just gonna do a quick saverino so I don't have to restart. Nope. Good. So yeah, so that connects up there, that disconnects, and then our piston pulls it back in. Now, as this currently works, wherever this piston connection ends up, I would need a block there. So it's going to be here, it looks like. Maybe even block back. Now, that's viable. I could make it that slow of an iteration, but that's a lot of parts to have to connect. Now what I could do... Okay. Got a plan here. I realize I don't strictly need that where it was. I'd put it there because I thought I was going to need spacing because I forgot how to do this. So if I stick that over there for the moment... and it's not going to want to connect. Hopefully... If I send this back to beyond this, hopefully it'll... Oh, nope, it would have. Nah. It doesn't want to merge. I think it's because the piston part, like the piston itself, is confusing it. So let's extend that out so that this is its own fella. Yes. So 2 pistons. That gives us much more reach. Which is going to be a bit tricky because of the room I have to build in. So now I let these connect. Disconnect that. And I need to then pull this back because I need to respace all of this stuff. So I need to think of this in terms of steps. So this is the minimum step distance. This is where sort of from... So if this is my start, I would extend all the way out as far as the 2 pistons go, and then I would back step this spacing. So this would be where the piston ends. Then I'd have, looks like 6 block gap, and then an empty connector for when this pulls forward. Okay, now we're a little higher up, I can extend out more. So this bit over here is the sort of minimum step gap. Let's find the maximum. Turn that on so that it locks, like so. I am doing this a little dangerous by having them... I'm ignoring the fact that these are pushing slightly into each other, but I'm not too worried about it because it's on a single player save and I'm on creative. And you can see how far back it moved, but as long as it all connects together reliably, that shouldn't be an issue. So you can see essentially the gist of how this is going to work is it extends out. It would be welding all this tube as it goes, reaches the end, connects down. Then our pistons pull themselves in. And when it reaches this point, it will create, well, there will be another connection point here that it connects to. So now, yep, it connects in a slightly disturbing fashion.
Fuel critical.
And this end would now be free to carry on. All right. Now there are a few things I need to tweak back here. And we'll deal with some of them in a minute. I can get rid of this guy now. This bit here is our track. That part is done. I now need to have the drill added on. And real quick, so I don't forget, I need a projector back here. The projector needs to be at this back bit because this is the bit that's connected while the track gets welded. And actually the track piece I need to weld isn't this whole thing. It would be... yeah, it would be from this block on. Needs to get welded. We can figure out the spacing later. I can take the whole blueprint and just move it in a certain way. Because, you know, the easiest thing to do would be go from this block and line up that to this, even though this stuff will already exist. It'll just be wasted blocks that already are there, but I think it'll be good. I don't know. This is a complex system. I'm just going to do a fairly simple thing up here. Essentially, what it needs to do is clear enough room that all this track can be built. Which may just... I may be able to get by with just this as a drill rig. I kind of want a little more, so we'll do this. Have one block down. And yeah, part of my idea here, it's not strictly necessary, but I kind of want to save some drill heads. Because if you're doing this sort of thing on a server, this is a viable way to make a big tunnel, but you don't have a bunch of PCU, you can only build so many drills, so you want to be efficient with it. This head should work. These two will overlap each other enough to push forward, and this lower one should clear out room as it spins for the sides of the piston, or of the drill. Now, it's an important thing to note, too. The drill is in the way of the track, so this can't reverse. I guess it could. The drill just has to be pointed upwards. But it couldn't reverse and drill. Not that you'd ever need to. I think we have enough here. I'm going to go ahead. It's going to get a little weird. In fact, a lot of weird. Away with you. I just want this track segment. And I don't even want all of it. I want this bit to go away. the Extendo-Drill track segment. I guess this is the Extendo-Drill now.
Critical.
So we blueprint that. It goes into the box of blueprints. And then go into our projector. Add the Extendo-Drill segment. Set it to keep its projection. Oh, and I turned on show only buildable. I don't want that yet, because I now need to position this thing. Yep, you can see the projection now aligns. Oh, that's awkward. With our push forward distance, you can see what I was talking about. The minimum is just slightly longer than the maximum reach by 1 block. So it will push forward. All this gets built. It stops here. Then the back bit will move forward and connect here. If I tweaked the piston extension lengths, I could get rid of this second thing. Oh, that feels like a lot of math that I don't want to waste my time doing. I'm gonna get it automatically extending, and then if I can do that in like 10 minutes, then I will do other stuff. Which, speaking of extending, I'll probably use this space back here. So I'm gonna want an event controller. I'll use that event controller to check that the pistons are fully extended, and that will trigger timer blocks to sort of start a cycle of movement. So, event controller is stage 1 in this. What events need to happen to extend? Or, I guess, to do the move sequence. I'm going to go ahead and send these back to simulate if it were moving. So at full extension, that would be there, that would be there. This is where the keep projection is very important, because when I disconnect that built stuff should come back. The projection should. So okay, so we're here. At this stage, I need to turn on this merge block, turn on and lock that connector. Then I need to disconnect these and pull the pistons. Technically I could get away with this on 1 timer block. I think I'm going to put 2 in just for the sake of sanity. Maybe I need 3. So I need lockdown. I can do disconnect and pull on the same one. And then I need a reconnect and push. So that would be 3. And then it cycles. That shouldn't be an issue, because I have 3 spaces there. That should glide over everything correctly. Time for some programming. So, our first timer block, this is our lockdown, which actually it's time for naming first. So our first timer block, we want merge block front to turn on, and we want connector front to turn on and lock. Then we need to start timer 2. Timer 2 can have even like a 1-second timer. I just want them, this just basically assures these events happen sequentially with enough time that they don't mess up their sequence. So, timer block 2, it will retract both pistons which I want to have second. So there is sort of a command hierarchy in Space Engineers. So obviously, different timer blocks triggering each other, that spaces time in between. But even in a timer block, it goes based on the order of these slots. So it's all pretty much instant, but technically speaking, this event happens, then this event, then this event, then this event, then this event. So if you have something that needs to be like right after the other, like for me, I need to turn off my rear merge block. I need to unlock and turn off that connector. I need these to disconnect before I start pulling on the pistons. That is what's happening here. That's how this will work. With lag, and especially on servers, this isn't a guarantee. This can break, which is why I have multiple timer blocks in here for the really important stuff. But in theory, this has a built-in event hierarchy. This third timer needs to trigger after the pistons are fully pulled in, and that will be determined by the push out speed, which is determined by how fast I can drill, which means it's going to be slow.
Fuel critical.
This one, I'll adjust this down later once I know how long it takes, but what this has to do, it will turn on the rear rear merge, turn on the rear connector, and lock the rear connector. So that third event will trigger when that is over this. I guess I could do this with event controllers too, to a degree, based on when connectors can lock and just leave the connectors on. And that could get a little weird. So we'll stick with this. This should work. So the last step here, there is one of these for, yeah, piston position percentage. So basically when the pistons are equal or greater than 100% of their length, this will happen. Gonna add both and do the AND, which this should work like a normal AND gate now. It was weird before, but I think it's fine. Yeah, it can just trigger that timer block. Okay, I want to test this. I am going to spin our rotor out of the way first. That should be good. That way it can slide over the rail back and forth. And this should, yeah, it should just work. Oh no, it won't. Well, this will be good for testing. So I need to add, these pistons need to start extending again off this timer block. But I'm going to leave that off so that it'll cycle through once and stop. Yeah, so from tracks beyond this, there will be another merge connector system there. But it is not there now. Hold on, I think I need... There's one thing I'm missing. I still need to disconnect the front. I knew I was forgetting something. So turn that off. Unlock you. Turn you off. Time for test one. I'm going to leave this at speed so that we can see it quicker. Because in theory, if it works like this, slowing it down won't change anything. So we go out. It connects because we're at extension. Our connector didn't lock. And these aren't moving? What has happened? Oh, is it stuck on those? Crap. Okay. I need to turn that off. I don't want it to unlock those because these aren't moving. Dang. It was stuck on those. Okay. So I have to go back out behind these with the first two timers, which is, I guess I can go above. Right? Yeah, above will still fit through the tunnel. Turn that on. We're in position, so if I just trigger now, yep, it jankily jumps forward. I don't like that those aren't connecting. Okay, I have a quick and dirty solution to that, which is another event controller right there. When these connectors are ready to lock, it will lock those. I think this rig is ready to go. I need to fix these though. Okay, don't have a ton of time left, but let's take 2. In theory, I mean, so long as it does drill its hole and does weld its own track, which it should do so long as it has stuff, should be good. Oh. Except it didn't start this. Hold on. Oh, because I didn't reset up that. Okay, well that'll work. If I just trigger that. Okay, those connected and locked correctly. I didn't adjust the timer on this, but they worked. Now we pull in, it positions the new track segment. So long as all of this locks. Huh. Well, now we see the danger of this system. Crud. Okay. Oh, and that means I'd have to reprogram everything. That's not great. Let me just... here. Quick load. Let's hope this isn't too far back. Okay. We're back. What's happening? I think this was just before my test. Yeah. I am curious. Nope, all these are healthy. I was wondering if maybe they'd taken damage, which shouldn't be an issue because the welders will actually repair all of this stuff as they go. They should be able to reach the connector. So yeah. Hopefully that doesn't happen again. I'm pretty sure, yeah, share inertia tensor's on. Share inertia tensor's on. Maybe I turn it off on this back one. Because with a lot of weight, share inertia tensor, basically it calculates the weight acting on that as everything on the grid. Which maybe isn't what I want. Maybe I'd be better off doing this. And do I still have... We will hope that all of this just works. And then I'm just going to call this as working. Right, this could be lower. That will leave where it is. Let's do negative 0.05. So adding together, the two pistons will be going at negative 0.1, which should be enough for that. I hope. We're gonna do testing again. One to make sure it clears. I hope it does. Please don't explode when you try to merge. Good. Okay, and it's pulling itself forward. I'm partially doing this because this is actually the position I want it to be in. And I'll probably just lop it off like here and merge it onto the base. Okay, now the issue came at this point. So let's stop our timer and check. So currently what I do is connect these rear blocks and then disconnect the back ones, which is how I'd have to do it. Oh boy. Oh boy. Alright, we're just gonna save again. My timing is
No
not
energy.
great.
Fuel critical.
Yeah. Okay. Pause the clock while I reload again. Oh boy. I don't know if I've left myself enough time to fix this. I think this is the issue. This is the trouble with the pushing the pistons into each other thing that I mentioned. I'm ignoring the fact that these are pushing slightly into each other. I'm not too worried about it. Okay, I'm gonna cheat just a little bit. I've not restarted the timer, but I'm not gonna do anything, but I need some time to think. Okay. So the issue here is that because of how I'm doing the piston extensions, it is, I think, compressing all this, so these jerk all of a sudden when they disconnect, banging into this stuff and causing it all to explode. In order to minimize that, I am going to need
Fuel.
a little more room, which I think means I need to do the thing I was talking about. I need to be reusing this mount point with the back. Which means... So it means adjusting my minimum extension. And that shouldn't affect the maximum distance, because the maximum distance is the hard maximum distance of the pistons. But if I adjust how far they pull in, I can adjust where this back fella comes to. Meaning I can adjust this. So I'll have to move this back to this connection point. Doing that will change this blueprint, which means I need to adjust this blueprint, blueprint it, and save it. And I don't think I can do that in a minute. I'm about to unpause, and then I have to do some rapid building. In 3, 2, 1. Okay. So, place that there. Oh, come on. Place that there. That's good. I need to do the same up here, there, and there. Get rid of those. I won't worry about that. Re-blueprint. Now I need to reverse that. And then Right? Oh god, I don't know how to do this. Okay, well that's time. Screw it. I'm just gonna keep going. We're cheating a little bit, but this is like one little thing. Okay. Hopefully this alone solves our problem. Because one, it gives a little bit of compression here because the piston part and piston aren't pushing into each other. That little bit of gap should help with movement a bit. And the fact that this is now pretty much as close as I could get it. Right? Yeah, 4.6 is over. So that's about as good as it'll go. So I did take a blueprint of this, but I'm going to get rid of it. Copy that. Should have the same positioning. So if I just go into our projector, update the blueprint. Yeah, that should work. Get rid of that. Hold on. Is that... Oh, God. Now I don't know if that's right. But then why is that there? Is that supposed to be there? Maybe I could have moved it one block further forward. I'm just gonna go ahead. This will be the test. Okay. Didn't explode. Did weld those up, so apparently I don't need to put cargo on this, which is good. So I think I went a block further back than I needed to. I could have just gone one back. I don't know how my measuring failed there, but hopefully this system will work. Okay. Well, I guess now I just need to lop it off, attach it to that base, and start drilling. So this is literally like a second later because I realized it may be interesting to watch me try and cut this off. It shouldn't cause an issue. It did though. Ah, dang it. How far back? Oh, and this reload will go before I... this is not going well. This reload will be just before I fixed it. You know what? This is already off the rails. It's not even like... It'll probably blow up on its own anyway. I'm going to fix it and do it right. I'm gonna see if I can make it so that I can reuse that bit. So that it doesn't have to print 2 connection points. So yeah, we're going off the rails, ironically, because I'm building a rail. But yeah, the timer is no more. I'm throwing the timer out the window for the moment. We're just gonna make this work. Oh no, it is... Okay, it is after I fixed it. It's before I switched this over. But it still works, so... Okay. We're just going with this then. Build that, so that will hold it in position, but should be in a spot that I can then... Yeah, remove once it's down here. What doesn't it like? I'm guessing my issue is that the drill is in a bad spot. So, onto my little arm. We'll slap that. Bring this up and out of the way. Can I paste this now? No. Crap. Is it because the other one is technically there, or is it this tree? I was kind of looking forward to sending the drill straight through the tree, but huh. We'll move this other one further up the hill. Then try. I'd like to keep a copy there detached. There we go. Yeah, I'd like to have a copy detached there just in case. Alright. So now we do our final setup, which realistically I would have done here anyway. Drills go on. Then we will have this spinning. 5 RPM seems too quick. Though, I mean, the drill didn't seem to mind. It was able to drill before it hit the ground, which is important. Now, piston extendos. 0.05. That is a go, hopefully. Now real quick, we need to add in to extend our pistons at the end of our 5-minute timer. I'm gonna set it, nope. That would be 600. 10 minutes. 10-minute timer, just because this is gonna be moving slow. I can adjust that down as needed. Welders are on, and as proved by welding these, they don't actually need components. So we're good. This is set correctly, yeah. I should just be able to extend those pistons. And it'll start working. Here we go. I'll have to watch. If this starts hitting things as it drills, I may have to slow down the rotor speed just a bit. Pistons are extending, right? I don't think that piston's extending. Why is that? Did my pasting make these static grids? Do a quick save, because this could get ugly. Nope. That is a loose grid. Is this? No. Crap. What is... Ah! That was a drill. Okay. So this is not a failure of design. This is a failure of something else. Okay. It was those guys, for some reason, confusing it. Now we're moving. Seem to be drilling so far. We've got a ways to go before we hit the mountain, but that shouldn't matter because it will eventually hit the mountain. It did weld that, which is good. Yeah, so the welding shouldn't be a problem. It's slow enough. These are obviously placing instantly because it's treating it like a creative mode welding. But even if you were waiting on some components, as long as you keep stuff queued up, it shouldn't be an issue. Okay, we're starting to drill a bit more thoroughly here. Oh. Okay, we did hit the ground. Gonna adjust that velocity down a bit. Ugh. I may have to adjust my piston velocities too. Yeah, because it's still dragging. Okay. I was thinking that this was probably a little too fast. 2.02. That should mean these can move slower and still hopefully clear out area.
Fuel critical.
Okay, that doesn't feel too bad. I guess what I could do real quick while I wait. Let's see. Yep, so base inventory has plenty of stone. No, it's not going to the refinery. Why is that? Oh, probably because I don't think this is actually a T junction. Okay. That should be fixed once it moves. I forgot that I think that original was a placeholder that I was going to fix. Whoops. Well, this initial stuff is just basically getting it in position to work. The real magic will happen as it's cruising along incredibly slowly through this tunnel. And watching this, I am remembering the previous semi-automated drill rig that I built. It didn't have a sort of stepper function to it, but that was in Marooned on Triton when I was digging the tunnel for the mountain base. That one was, I don't know how many it was at least like 4... Huh. Well, that was interesting. And I think I realize why that just occurred. So it has to do with my welder positioning. So because of where the welders are, the blocks, like the connector and thing there, here I can show it back here, or up here I guess, would be better because it still exists. So, because of the positioning of these welders, this welder will place this block, but it needs to be closer to place this block. That block needs to exist before these can be placed. Meaning that I just basically extended beyond where I could build, and then it blew up and exploded. I'll have to double check the footage, but I'm pretty sure that's right. And I also can't do anything because I'm still recording the footage, so I can't double check it. Because I think at this point I've cheated the rules enough, I'm not going to give this the sort of standard success screen. And honestly, it was kind of going to be janky to upload anyway. So just use this as like a tutorial on how to design this thing. Don't worry about, trying to download it and build it. It would also be a nightmare to try and build from a blueprint. And I don't see why you'd really want it in creative mode. But I'm going to go back. Hopefully this save is before catastrophe. I'm going to make a quick adjustment because I think one adjustment to where a welder is should solve this issue without creating any more, hopefully. Okay. Well, plan B. This is why I saved this fella. So I think I can fix this simply by moving this welder. So if I make a weird spaghetti tube up there and don't build a grinder. So now that that welder is a block forward, it will weld in this line. Because there's nothing on this side for it to hit, it doesn't need to be where it was before. This side, this one back here, its only job is to weld these things, which it'll be able to do from behind once this fella is placed. Though, I'm going to do one more safety thing, because at the moment, I just trigger this timer block. Say, go get at it. Which means, as soon as the pistons from the event controller hit their maximum threshold, things are unlocking, relocking, and all that. If there's building time, I may not be able to lock down. So if I change this off of trigger now to start, and then it's not like this is fast anyway. In fact, yeah, 30-second timer. I will give it 30 extra seconds from max extension for it to finish welding all this stuff. Which, assuming all the parts are available and ready to go, shouldn't be an issue. And it won't be an issue for this test because of how the welders are working. Now, do I fix the other issue and make it so that it can reuse its block? Now that I've fully given up on that working. I think I do. I want to. And placing this blueprint and subsequently goofing things up did just make me realize where my issue was. So before, I'd calculated that I needed to move 2 blocks back, not accounting for the fact that the blueprint itself would move a block based on where this stuff was. So before, I thought I was 2 blocks ahead was the final thing. So moving back 2 blocks I thought would put it here, but it actually moved the endpoint 4 blocks. I've essentially been multiplying distances and not realizing it. So 1 block would move it back the 2 I originally needed, but because I didn't move the projector forward before placing the blueprint in, I've now got this guy here too.
Fuel.
2.2 sounds good. So now you can see that my projection, you can sort of see it's in there. Next one is there. That should be good. Oh, so I guess that's a potential. The main potential issue is as this pushes forward, it may weld the block before the drill gets to where it needs to go. I'm going to solve that, hopefully, by just pushing the drill forward. Hopefully that'll give it enough clearance that it'll be past the block before it gets placed. I guess there's only one way to find out. Okay, so first test is, will I whack into the tubes as I build them? Oh, just barely, but it did miss it. Now, there's maybe a bit of safety in that if the drill is in the way, like if the timing doesn't line up quite right and the drill is going to hit basically right up until this point, the block could be placed, but once it's any closer, it won't be. Hopefully that minimizes the chance of an actual strike. And I guess worst case scenario, as long as it doesn't destroy the drill and just destroys the conveyor, it shouldn't be an issue. And I guess I could solve this. I could put a sensor down here that senses if the drill is downward and turns off that welder. And I think we can get by without it. As that goes, let's take a peek. Yep, so our refinery is processing any stone it gets. And that means I could be, as I'm drilling, I could be building the parts for all the tubes and whatnot. Oh, that's real close. Maybe even too close, but I think I can accept it. Okay, now the big next question will be, will it build our connecty bits? Gonna have a welder out just in case so I can fix it if I need to. That's a good sign. That's built. Oh, I guess part of the question will be, will it be able to build the merge block with the other merge block there? If not, I may have to move that welder out. Oh god. Okay, it did do that. Apparently we're still moving too fast. Let's go even slower. Ugh. I'm gonna have to go even slower. So next step is to see if everything will connect and not explode. Should be momentarily. I did set it on a 30-second timer. Okay. We've connected. That is pulling in. It'll take a while, but that's to be expected. This is actually also probably pretty convenient because as it's mining actual stone and like got a bunch of it, theoretically the refinery could get bogged down even though it's, you know, it's pretty quick at just refining stone. But this time, which is a good while, let's see how many. So it's been a minute and a half. It feels longer. But this should give a sort of buffer zone for the refinery to catch up, you know, any stone that you've mined or any ores that you may hit en route will get processed by your processing systems, so you don't have to worry, and it gives some time to, you know, stock up on the next bit of parts you'll need and all that. If you're using a one of the inventory manager scripts, it gives it time to process what it needs. All in all, as long as it cycles correctly, this is a pretty sound system. So it's been 3 minutes. I'm guessing 4 minutes will be a pretty safe time. We'll have plenty of time to check. Okay, that's position. Yeah, so... Right, that's 3 minutes and 30 seconds. We'll go, I think, 2:25. That should be, yep, 3 minutes and 45. We'll just... Trigger now has had a flaw. Oh, I see the issue. Because the drills are full, they're so heavy that it's caused it pulled away before it could lock down. I may need another timer block in this loop. That's the wrong decision. Oh boy. How am I gonna fix this? Probably by removing stone. I'm gonna add a 4th timer block. And change how these fellas are working. So this one will just do the lockdown. And then it'll trigger 4, and 4 will do the unlock. This will guarantee that everything works the way it's supposed to work. This thing can fly in gravity, so hopefully it'll be powerful enough to push this down. Okay. Gently does it. Gently. There.
Fuel critical.
Okay, and we're off to the races. Yeah, that was a little janky. So I'm debating. My plan was to do a nice time lapse of this working. And I kind of want to. Oh, I need to
Inventory full.
remove these though. Uh-oh. There we go. That was almost bad. That is bad. Okay, I think that's the rotation speed, and we're just gonna have to hope that that works. I kind of want to do a time lapse because I think it would be fun, but at the same time, it's gonna be slow. And this has already gone on for, oh, I misread seconds and minutes. I thought I'd been going for 3 hours. It's been just over 2 hours recording. Conceptually, I think this thing may work. Except for that. Oh, God. Okay. We're just gonna stand here and see how long it takes before it all combusts. Yes, it's now seized. Conceptually, I think this system works. At least the stepper part, I think, is now working. There are some flaws, of course, as noted by it now being stuck in a hill. But, you know, that's kind of down to just, I should have put more drills on the end, which I could have done. It would be easy to do. I just am not doing it. But yeah. So that's how this sort of thing would work. Obviously, this iteration is not quite right, but I think I've done enough troubleshooting and poking around at it that hopefully it's helpful to, you know, at least have a concept of how this thing would work and be able to effectively do it. But yeah, that's for you guys to figure out with your own testing. For now, I am going to say thank you everybody so much for watching. Feel free to, you know, design your own drills. Leave any comments for drills you want me to design or other things. Until next week, bye-bye.